Hello everyone, welcome back to Just Invest Today. In today's video, we have to talk about this right now. It's super key. China's market. Everyone is talking about the collapse of China. I hear it everywhere. We're talking about the real estate crisis going down in China right now, the debt crisis, the younger demographic in China being unemployed, deflation happening in China. Holy, there's so much to talk about. So we're going to talk about everything that's happening in China in this video because, guys, we have to understand. We own Baba, we own JD.com, we own Tencent. This might affect our companies, it may not. Is this going to be a nice recovery for all of these stocks, or is the bad news just going to kill our companies for the rest of the year, for next year? Guys, let's get into it in this video. So one of the main things everyone talks about is this real estate crisis. Evergrande's shares were suspended last March, but now the shares were down 80%. It's going through a huge tumble. It lost like $4.5 billion for the last 6 months. It's insane, and they reported this on Sunday. So what's happening in China when it comes to the real estate? Because we know that there's a lot of like ghost towns or ghost cities. So like 70% of China has their wealth in real estate, and that's how they kind of secure their wealth. But guess what? That's not what's happening right now, because a lot of companies are reporting people not wanting to buy real estate or not getting into the market, bad loans, a lot of that stuff going on in China. Redevelopment is all going haywire. Man, it's a mess when it comes to the real estate crisis. But the good sign of all of this is that government is helping supporting the real estate crisis. It's going to do some kind of financing and just help these real estate companies. This crisis actually reminds me of the US bank sector just going down and tumbling, and everyone was afraid. But we know as investors that this is going to slide over. The government is going to support the companies or support the real estate property, and it's going to last over time. So in my opinion, this is not a big worry, because majority of the properties, the majority of the real estate that's owned by the Chinese are doing okay. So you guys kind of have to understand that this is just going to happen. This is like a normal cycle, whatever. It kills that economy. If you're not invested in real estate in the Chinese market, I honestly think you don't have to really worry. A lot of people in China have the wealth tangled up in real estate. So if the real estate market is going down, a lot of the Chinese people are going to feel less wealthy. So if you feel less wealthy, you're not going to spend as much. So that's what's causing this deflation pressure in the Chinese market. As the real estate market keeps going down, people are not going to spend as much. People are increasing their savings just in case for the worst. This is where you see all this deflationary pressure happening on a lot of like consumer products and items and food, etc., etc. Plus, on top of that, we have youth unemployment, and that's like at an all-time high. But now they're gonna stop recording that, so you kind of see what's happening. But that's kind of interesting because no other place really records youth unemployment. So how really important is that stat? It might not be that important because a lot of the Chinese people are still in school for a long time. So who knows what's happening with the youth unemployment? I don't even really think that's that important, but everyone kind of makes a big deal out of it. But who knows really what's happening over there and on that side of things. But if you look on the other side of the coin of all the positive things happening in China right now, it's insane as well. We have the Chinese government coming out and saying that they're going to help the private sector. They're going to boost a lot of things in the economy. They're going to support it. The Chinese government said it will support private investment in sectors such as transportation, water, clean energy, new infrastructure, advanced manufacturing. It's encouraging private investment projects to issue real estate investment trusts and infrastructure sector to promote asset diversification. The People Bank of China and the State Administration of Foreign Exchange last Thursday adjusted their cross-border financing guidelines to allow companies to borrow more from foreign sources. So you can see how the government is going to support the economy going forward. I can still see the future of China still growing. We have Huawei coming out with their own phone. Guys, remember with all the damn restrictions that the US government had on this phone? They banned it, they banned everything. It's still coming out with its own phone. People are wondering, how did it make its own 5nm chip? Guys, that's what we're going to see. The government is going all out. It's unleashing everything. It's starting to allow companies to do kind of whatever they want again. So this is amazing news. Remember how they were restricting Baba and Tencent? Now they're letting Tencent release games again. They just issued 31 new games for Tencent, NetEase, a lot of other gaming companies. So they're actually supplying the gaming market again. So that's positive news. Man, there's a lot of stuff that we can kind of see under the pipeline that's brewing because what US is doing with their regulation against China. Gina, the Commerce Secretary, actually just came from China because they have to discuss all the manufacturing controls and all the chip kind of bans and everything like that. So they're kind of coming to an agreement there. So that's more regulation, more positive news for the regulation side of things. Then finally, the big one, PDD grew 66% year over year revenue growth. PDD is coming out and saying consumption is pretty much coming back, and it's coming back strong. So what does that look for the next 2, 3, 4 quarters in China? As there's going to be more promotion, there's going to be more financing, more loans. Man, the Baba, JD.coms, the Tencents, all of those companies have huge forward-looking projections coming up in the next couple of years. I'm going to continue to assume that the Chinese market is going to rebound from its all-time lows, guys. What do you think about everything in this video, guys? Like this video and subscribe.